Alright, let's talk about how this game upset me as a Senran Kagura fan. The original game came out for 3DS, like, it was almost like a launch title or whatever it was. And you could only get it digital, and I think it was like $30. It was like expensive as hell for what it was. And it never went on sale. Eventually, I was looking at it, and eventually I got it, and I really liked it, even though it's really broken. It had like, you ran back and forth, like, kind of like, with 3D characters, but it's really like Final Fight. It's on a 2D plane, and you killed a bunch of people doing the exact same thing over and over again. And I'm like, I liked it. It was addicting. It was bad. And, Senran Kagura kind of found this, real footing with Shinovi Versus, which was on Vita, and then Estival Versus, which came to PS4, and I think both of them came to Steam eventually. They're great games. They're kind of like comfort food games. They're anime trash, but you really still like playing them. You like the story. You buy it for the boobs, of course, but you stay for the story and the girls. And there's really there's a serious tone to it, but it's also lighthearted. This game right here, Rebirth, is like a remake of the original one, which had a more serious undertone to it. All the girls are mostly serious. There's very few comedic points or whatever it is. Not much ecchi going on besides, they have giant watermelon tits. But the problem with this as a remake is it brings it down and puts it into Estival Versus engine or whatever, but it didn't make enough changes to me to make me interested in the story, because I done heard this story. You had it done in the 3DS version. It was redone in the Shinovi Versus one. And you also had the Season 1 anime, which did the same story. So this is the fourth time they're redoing this story here as a new and they're calling it a new thing. And they want, I think it was $40 for it. It absolutely isn't worth it because, I've done hit the story before. And I think that it's even somebody coming back new to the series would just be better to watch either the anime or just play Shinovi Versus, where it's condensed down and it's quick and it just gets it done. There's some slight differences or whatever, and they were trying to do originally two different story paths for 3DS and Vita. It really doesn't make much of a difference. This is really about the characters as far as the plot, and the characters are the same between them. But it's pretty much a sequel to Estival Versus. It's nowhere near as good as Estival Versus in its gameplay. You go out there and you fight a couple of schoolgirls, you beat their ass up, and then it's mainly about dueling, whatever opponent you're supposed to duel. And, dude, that damn CPU AI is a dumbass. It's real stupid. It basically kind of has a somewhat passive approach to it, like a passive-aggressive approach. It'll if you go far away, it's going to use a far-away attack to get to you. And just kind of sits there and looking at you. And then it'll do like one big attack or whatever it is. You can parry these attacks, and I think that's what they're trying to do is get you to parry the CPU. But if you attack a computer, at least on very hard, that's the one I played on, the 3 stars. It usually has armor or some shit, and it just ignores your regular attacks, and then until you hit it with an aerial wave, which will knock them into the air, and you can follow it up, they're just going to just blast you with something else. And so it becomes more about just dealing with the computer's super armor versus it having a tactic or a strategy or following up. It never uses any of the character's musus, and I don't even think it really uses much of the actual character, the player attacks. So it's playing as a player character, but it's doing its own thing, and that's boring, and they only have like 4 or 5 moves, and you'll figure them out real quick. Other than Haruka, I really didn't have much trouble with them because you could just blast through like here and freaking hit their ass, and just come back and they really can't do much against you. And it's like it becomes just slogfest because they have way too many hit points. I would say I didn't play much on normal, but I would say even on normal they have too many hit points for what you're actually dealing with here. And then you're trying to hit them with your big moves, your specials or whatever, your transforms, and it's just doing like inkling ass damage at least on hard. I had to get my characters around level 30. And there's some points in the game. There's like some little growth point things you could collect. And so you can get them and boost your character up through levels that way. So the best way to gain levels was just to start a mission, go right to the growth point thing, get it, abort the mission. You kept the points and just stack your character up that way. And then there was two different extra meters for leveling up. It was like a yang and a ying. I think that was in the original game as well. And so you would maybe start your match out. You could press RB and LB, and you could go into your bikini form, and you just kind of like this balls to the walls, die in one hit form. And you could do that, or you could do the standard form where you would have like a regular outfit here and then a transformation. These also had their own meters, and as you gain levels up, they gave you some pretty good abilities. But god dog, it was taking forever to level it up. And as you're playing, you want to start off in your school uniform because it's like an entire extra life bar with armor. As your clothes get ripped off, you'll lose your armor, and so you take more damage. But you would normally want to play in the school uniform because you didn't know how tough this computer was going to be. And then, as you got beat up, you'd switch to your Shinobi transformation. But you wouldn't start getting Yang points or whatever until you switch to Shinobi. So it's kind of like it's another type of just rewarding aggressive play. But with so much life, I normally just would do like this. I would stay actually in the schoolgirl outfit and just try to kill them that way. But there's a lot to Senran Kagura. But if you put your computer down with super armor and a bazillion hit points, it just kind of evaporates a lot of your strategies and techniques. And so you end up doing the same thing over and over again. And I just don't think this is where this series should go. There's supposed to be another one. They've been working on it for a long time. And it needs a fast revamp. Because you can't say, oh, well, this was just a Vita game anymore. This was not, I don't even think this is released on Vita. Vita's done, dude. And so you have to get past your Vita and portable heritage, and you're going to have some more quality. Even if you're going to charge, a reduced price, a 30 or 40 bucks, it still needs to be better. And I think Peach Beach Splash costs a pretty good damn penny. But I still love Senran Kagura. This is not the one to play. If you were interested in playing it, maybe Shinovi Versus, which you could probably get for $5 on Steam or something when it hits on sale. And then Estival Versus. That'll get you caught up, and it has a lot more characters than this. It's just really, really missing this game is as far as, the fun that Estival Versus had. It's just not there. And, that's sad. And I've enjoyed most Senran Kaguras. Deep Crimson wasn't very good, and this one isn't very good. And we're going to throw all PAWS down because this isn't the one you should play. You should play another one, and it's a bad representation of what Senran Kagura should be, in my opinion.